Hi, I'm Denetrius Harrison, the school counselor here at Evoline C West Elementary School. I'm so excited to be with you today to share with you how, as a school counselor, an elementary school counselor, how do I support our STEM program? Well, let me get started. When I look as a school counselor, my professional belief is that as school counselors, we help to create the whole child. When we look at creating that whole child, there are some things that it encompasses. A whole child, in my professional opinion, is a student who's able to self-regulate in a healthy way, self-regulate those emotions in a healthy way. A student who is able to collaborate with others in a healthy manner as well. I look at a whole child as that student who is able to practice cognitive strengths as well. I look at a student who is able to problem solve not only social situations, but use those same problem solving skills when they have to create or problem solve cognitively. So looking at all of those key elements, I feel that we have created the whole child. And that's where the magic takes place here in this school counseling program in relations to our STEM program. Because in the end, we know that our overall goal is to create this student, is to help foster this student who can go out into this world, be creative, have healthy social skills, thus making the world a better place, right? Those are the human beings that we are charged with creating. So, how do I help students how do I help students with regulating their emotions and supporting the STEM program here at EC West? Well, I researched and I found that in my research that using their cognitive abilities and using their creative abilities, that those two things can help a student calm down when they are heightened with emotionality. So some of the things that we use are puzzles. We have a lot of puzzles, and these are STEM puzzles in which the students are able to be distracted from whatever those things that cause them to their emotionality to heighten. They're able to refocus through puzzles and things of that nature. So there's a lot of different STEM puzzles that you can find anywhere. So this is one way that we help students to self-regulate. After they are calm, we can then talk and we can go through our problem-solving technique, which leads me to my next point. Problem-solving. Here as a school counseling program, problem solving is one of the really, really key elements that I focus on helping the students to develop while they're here at EC West. So we do a lot of problem solving. Do I solve those problems? Of course we don't, right? But we take them through the problem solving steps in which they're able to learn how to solve their own problems. Then the students can then transfer those problem solving steps that they've used to solve these social problems. They then know that when it's time to problem solve in the classrooms with in an academic situation, they're able to say, hey, I remember, those problem solving steps, and then they're able to incorporate them in the classroom cognitively as well. So that's another way in which we collaborate our STEM program and our school counseling program. Another thing that we use is empathy. Basically, empathy is that key element. It's that foundation that our students use in solving any problem. When our students are charged with their PBLs, their project-based learning projects, the first step is creating that driving question. When our students are creating those driving questions, they know that it takes a level of empathy to come up with a driving question, come up with a solution, so that whatever they're looking at is going to contribute to making the world a better place. Well, how can we even begin to think about making the world a better place if we're not understanding how others feel? So we all know that empathy simply involves truly understanding how another person feels, right? So when our students are creating their driving questions, they know that whatever they're trying to create is not for self-gain. It is truly to what can they contribute, what can they create to solve a problem in the world. And so in order to solve that problem in the world, they have to understand what that problem or how that problem is making others feel. So empathy is a very big element in our PBLs. So of course, in my counseling curriculum, empathy is one of the first lessons that we focus on. Not only one of the first lessons that we focus on, but empathy is something that we focus on throughout their career, throughout their matriculation through EC West. So our students are constantly reminded, how does what you do, how do the choices you make other people feel? And so they take that same element in creating their PBLs. For example, one of our PBLs involved students creating a kindness tree. And so, of course, the driving question involves students being deemed with what is something we can create here at EC West that could possibly add an element of kindness to our culture here. For example, if we have a student who is feeling bad or feeling hopeless about a situation, maybe they failed a test and they feel hopeless, what can they do? Where could they go to feel better? And one of those places that we've created here at EC West is the kindness tree. And what we did with the kindness tree, you can see the rocks here. Some of them are worn. We haven't worked on it since last school year, so a lot of the weathering has taken place and taken off a lot of our paint and our wording from these rocks. But I went and grabbed some today. So if a student was feeling, experiencing an emotion that's not so pleasant, they could visit the kindness tree and draw from, and draw some hope from that kindness tree. For example, if they're feeling not so pretty, they may come across a rock that says, "You are beautiful." And so your rock, your contribution to that kindness tree has right there helped inspire a person to feel better about themselves. So that's one of the activities that we've done here at EC West through the counseling program. We've also, let me share another PBL. Our third grade students, one of their driving questions asks, how can we act as a solution to pollution for plants and animals in Georgia? So before you can even try to come up with something to solve that problem, you have to first understand, how do the plants and animals feel when they're experiencing a polluted environment? So when after the students understand that those plants and animals, how pollution may make them feel, they put themselves in those plants, in those animal shoes, then they're able to come up with something very substantial to solve that issue. Because we know that as humans, we all have the basic need of feeling, of wanting to feel comfortable, right? And so as a plant and animal, what solutions can we come up to help eliminate pollution, which normally make a person or a thing or an animal feel uncomfortable? So that is pretty much what we do here with the school counseling program, how we collaborate and how we make those two disciplines work together to, of course, create the whole child and thus, in the end, creating a world that's more livable, more enjoyable, and more kind. Thank you for listening today. You enjoy the rest of your day, and I hope that you've been inspired to, if you are thinking about encompassing STEM into your counseling program, that you've been inspired to do so, because it really does work. Thank you.